We get a lot of our ideas about what videos to make next from your questions, and several of you have asked how to stop your toddler from biting. I'm kind of glad we're taking this on, Vicki, as a toddler issue, because if your teenager's biting...
That's a whole other story.
Well, and that brings to mind, we have to consider the developmental stages of our kids when we're looking at any particular behavioral problem like biting. I remember one of the first books I read on parenting, Parenting with Love and Logic, Foster Cline and Jim Fay. And we had the privilege of having Jim Fay on our parenting podcast several years ago. One of the opening chapters in the book, Parenting with Love and Logic, has something to do with German Shepherd 101 or something like that. Because when you're training a dog, we know this because we're training a couple of dogs, you have to do certain behavioral techniques to get the behaviors into line.
Right.
Okay, a toddler is not a dog.
Right. But
kind of.
Some of the techniques are going to work the same.
And I don't mean that with any disrespect.
No.
I mean it by purely developmental standards. Toddlers' brains function kind of like a German Shepherd's brain.
Consequence effect.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
They're trying to learn what they can and can't do in the world around them. What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? And it's linking up cause and effect. So when you think about it that way, then I think the next thing we do is go to, well, why are they biting? There's a very simple answer to the question, why are they biting?
Because they get a quick response.
Quick, noticeable, significant response.
Right.
This is one thing that a toddler can do to immediately change the things that are going on.
And a lot of
them.
the times right before they weren't getting the response. Maybe nobody was listening to them. Maybe they didn't get the toy they wanted. Maybe I don't know what. But they want a different response and they want it quick and they want it noticeable. And so biting has worked once. It's going to work again for them.
Right. Now, wherever it starts, that's the reason why they're doing it. They get a quick, noticeable, significant response. They change their world in a way that helps them to feel powerful. Now, it's inappropriate, right? But toddlers don't know this. And we can't just sit them down and say, hey, look.
Hey, we got to have a little conversation.
Not really socially acceptable to do that. That's not their level of development. So we want to go back to the reason they're doing it. Think about the cause and effect that we're trying to link up. And so we want to create a noticeable, significant effect of that behavior that's different from what they were getting in the first place.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute, because how many moms have said, bite them back, right? Okay.
Right.
And that's been used for many years by many a mom.
It actually
Why does that work?
works.
So talk to me about why it works, and let's talk about what we're going to do about that.
It works because you get an immediate, significant response.
Think about it. When the child bites another kid or you, immediately they get your attention. There's this startle, and it's noticeable and it's immediate, right?
Yeah.
So the reason that if you bite them back, it's immediate, it's startle, it's noticeable, you get their attention.
Now, disclaimer.
Now, we're not saying bite them.
No.
But we are saying let's look at why that even has been talked about. It's because of that response. So what can we do to get the same response in a non-violent way?
Beautiful. Yes. The same effect, but without you getting arrested for child abuse.
Right.
Okay, so that's what we're going for. A noticeable, significant effect of that behavior. So it has to be fairly quick. I would suggest that we combine two powerful consequences and do it as soon after the biting happens as possible, because we want to link up cause and effect. And that is startle and isolation. Both of which will help to bring about the same effects without getting you in trouble and without
So talk me
abusing
through
your
that
child.
a little.
All right, so the startle part, as soon as they bite, you might use a noise like a clap. It may have startled you a little bit when I just did that clap. That's the idea. You want a quick, some kind of an attention grabber.
Right.
And startle is one way to do it.
And
Now,
the startle reflex, remember, that's there from birth. So that we want to hit that early reflex right there. Bam, startle.
Now here's another one. I have to be careful with this one because we are not advocates of biting your children. We're also not advocates of hitting or corporal punishment.
Right.
Because that can get out of control so quickly. So don't confuse what I'm about to say with spanking or corporal punishment. Most toddlers are wearing a lot of padding right around the derriere. Okay? A diaper, right? Sometimes a quick swat to the diaper
Catches their attention. It's a startle.
startles them.
Right.
Okay? Now, it's not going to hurt them. You're not hitting them. You're not spanking them. It's just a quick physical swat to the hind end with the diaper,
or a clap,
to get the startle
right.
effect. We're not trying to hurt, cause pain, none of that. Okay,
It's just a startle. So whatever you need to do for a startle, get that. And then the next step is kind of an isolation.
Now, isolation means that we take them out of whatever they're engaged in doing. They're probably biting to get some
Attention, get
or
a toy.
Whatever it is that they're trying to get, we're going to remove them from that and isolate them. Classically, this is known as the timeout. And it doesn't have to be a long time, but you physically move them from where they are into an isolated position. And I like to also pair up, remember, we're doing cause and effect. We want this child to start linking up biting causes unwanted effects.
Right, instead of biting gets me what I want.
Gets me what I want. Right, that's the part that we're shifting. And so part of the startle and the isolation would be a sharp, not mean, not angry, but a sharp no. Okay? And use the tone of voice that is very clear and sharp. Now, when I say sharp, I mean don't use a chainsaw when you need a scalpel. Okay? So we're going to be very clear, crisp, accurate. That's what sharp means. No bite or no biting. Okay? In a stern voice, as you move them to the isolation, doesn't have to be for long, and then we're back to business.
Right.
Okay? So we just want to change it quickly, have a significant, immediate outcome that's different from what they were looking for. I think this is going to help. In case you missed it, we are not advocating that you bite your child. In fact, we're trying to help them to overcome that habit. And hopefully some of those tips will be helpful. Hey, if you would like some coaching, we would love to help with that. We've got coaches on our team. We can help you personally. Come on over to Live on Purpose Central. Go.liveonpurposecentral.com and check out what's available to you.
To the phone.